Hello, good evening, pre-PTs. Good evening. How is everyone doing? For those of you new, my name is Casey Coleman. This is Pre-PT Grind, and we help you get into PT school without wasting time or money. So my name is Casey. I'm a physical therapist and one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. And we know what you guys go through. And this is what we're going to be talking about on this live stream particularly. And that's what our whole business, company, mission, vision is all about. Helping you deal with these fears that we're going to talk about in this video. Fears like wasting time, wasting money, having all this anxiety. We'll go all into it. But hope you all are doing well on this Thursday, this pretty Friday. Hope you've gotten through your week great. Hope it's going to be a great weekend. Alexa, thanks for joining me. What's up, Coach? Jen, thanks for joining me. Brady, how's it going? So I want you all, live or replay, I can care less. Podcast, if you're listening on the podcast, shout it out or send us an email. YouTube, comment below. What are your pre-PT fears? What are your biggest pre-PT fears? I'm interested. We did a post, I think it was yesterday or the day before, which got a lot of engagement. A lot of engagement. People were commenting, liking, sending it in the DMs to their friends and doing all this stuff. I had no idea it was going to blow up like that. But I just sent it to the team, our intern team. And I was like, hey, can you guys make a post with this stuff? Boom, they made it happen. And a few days later, I was like, whoa, I never expected that response. So that's what this video is about. So I want you to comment below. Let me know. Let me know. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? What are your biggest fears? Let me know. Think about it. Write it down. Ponder it. Not getting into PT school, Alexa. I feel you. I understand. Not doing well on the GRE was another big one I heard. I heard a good one the other day, or not the other day, on another live stream that was not doing well in PT school once I got there. I was like, oh, that was a pretty good one. We don't hear that a lot, but that is definitely a fear. Let me know. Having to do it all over again, absolutely. Fear of picking a good school. Okay, Debbie, what's up? Thanks for joining. Adam, what's up? Not being able to finish school, especially PT school, because I can't afford it. Wow. That's definitely a fear. Definitely a fear. So, my fears, and that's what the post was made about the other day, was about the same. And a lot of you resonated with it. Fears, of course, not getting into PT school. Self-doubt was a big one. Self-doubt was definitely a big one. Wasting time, wasting money, feeling alone, feeling like I was the only one. I'm the only one who's fearful of not getting into PT school. I'm the only one who thinks I'm going to fail or get below a 300 on my GRE. I'm the only one who's struggling in my observation hours because they suck and I'm bored. I'm the only one who forgot to pay attention to PT class and asked for a second letter of recommendation from a PT, and I'm the only one struggling to find another one for my letters of recommendation. And PT class, oh my gosh, opens in a couple weeks or a week or two. I'm the only one who feels like that. I struggle with that a lot. Falling behind my friends. A lot of my friends got into PT school before me. What would they think about me? What if I didn't get in another time? They would be graduated and I would still just be getting in. What's going to happen then? How are they going to feel about me? How am I going to feel about myself? I'm the only one going through this. A lot of you in this situation, for me, I'm blessed for it not to be me, but a lot of you I know are going through a situation where your parents are pushing you to either be something you don't want to be, or once they found out that physical therapy is something you want to do and it's a doctorate degree, they're like, oh man, you need to get into PT school so I can brag to my brothers and sisters and I can brag to my friends that my daughter or son got into PT school and now they're going to become a doctor of physical therapy. And now you have that pressure of your family all on you to get into PT school on top of everything else that you have. And still you feel like you're the only one. So those were a lot of our fears that I know for a fact, which I knew before, but that was just confirmation the other day on our post, that a lot of you are going through the same thing. a lot of you have those same fears. And fears are real, of course. There's a physiological aspect to it. Your heart starts beating, you start sweating, you're staying up at late, all that stuff. It's reactions. It happens. It's natural. All of us have fears. However, a good way to organize those fears, a good way to quote unquote deal with those fears, a good way to manage those fears could be understanding what one of these famous big quotes say about fear, right? F.E.A.R, false evidence appearing real. Now, does it sound like something your parents would say? Does it sound like something you would hear in church? Does it sound like something you would hear on a cliche Instagram post? Of course. But will it become more real when I apply it to these fears that you have? Maybe. Let me know. And as you guys are coming in live, keep commenting. What are your fears? What are you scared of? What did I miss? Because if you comment below your fears, we will send you our accepted system blueprint to deal with those fears. So whether you're on YouTube, on this live stream on Facebook, you see this on an Instagram post, whatever it is, comment below your fears and we will send you our accepted system blueprint so you have more tangible, actionable steps to deal with those fears, to manage those fears. Now, the false evidence appearing real, those fears, that quote applies to your situation so much because of this. Your fears, again, were not getting into PT school, not having the money to pay for it, not doing well once you're there, all of those. However, your biggest fear, not getting into PT school, I don't care if you're reapplying this year and you already went through that, whatever it is, for this cycle, think about this cycle. You not getting in, your fear of you not getting in, did it happen yet? Or is it a false evidence appearing real? Or whatever that thing is. Think about it. You applying this cycle, your fear of not getting in, not getting accepted this cycle, did it happen yet? You not getting a great GRE score, you not getting over 300 on your next GRE attempt, even if you did it in the past and got below it, 1 time, 4 times, 16 times, I don't care. This time that you're going to take it again, you falling below a 300 on your GRE, did it happen yet? Or is it just appearing real? Your letters of recommendation that you're stressing about. Oh my gosh, this person's not going to write it how I want. Oh my gosh, I can't find a professor. I can't find a PT. Did that happen yet? Or is it false evidence appearing real? Did you waste time or money yet? If that's your fear. Did you let your family down yet? Did you disappoint them yet? Did you fall behind your friends yet? Or is it just false evidence appearing real? Think about it. Write it down. Put it in your notes. What are your fears and did they happen yet? Or are they just paralyzing you from taking action? Now, let's go down this road. What happens if your fears actually become true? What happens? There's my younger brother when we were little. He always used to ask all these questions and keep rolling with these questions with the worst case scenario to happen. Like, oh my gosh, what if, this building catches on fire? Then I'd be like, well, okay, then the fire department would come. Then he's like, oh my gosh, well, what if the fire department catches on fire too? Well, I don't know, they call a different one. Well, what if that one catches on fire too? Like, oh my God, then they'll call, I don't know. Then I'd make up some answer. Then eventually I'd say, well, everybody would just die and the world would end. Then that would just kind of, keep him quiet. Then he'd be like, oh, well, I guess that's what's going to happen. And it's kind of a funny story, but does it apply to your situation? Think about it. Worst case scenario, you don't get accepted. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are you just going to fall over and die? If you don't do well on your next GRE attempt, what's going to happen? Are you going to become homeless? If you don't do well in this next class, what's going to happen? Go into that fear. Think about it. Then once you do that, realize that it's probably not going to happen. And I know it's hard because I've thought like that. Like I said, I'm literally you. Because what you're thinking about now, what you're going through now is, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do well on the GRE. I'm not going to get a 300. That means I'm not going to get accepted to PT school. If I don't get accepted into PT school, then I can't get a job as a physical therapist. If I don't get a job as a physical therapist, that means I can't make money. If I don't make money, I'll get kicked out of my parents' house because I don't have a job. If I don't have a job, that means I can't pay rent somewhere. I can't buy food. That means, oh my gosh, I'll be homeless on the street forever. Then I'll die because of a gunshot wound or a car crash, or I'll get ran over, all because I didn't get a 300 on my GRE. And that's paralyzing to so many people because then your actions don't follow. You're going to say, well, I'm going to die anyways because I'm going to be homeless. Why study so hard for this? When in reality, is that really going to happen? Or is all of that just false evidence appearing real? And is all of that just false narratives you're telling yourself that have not happened yet? Are all these fears just giving you all this unwanted anxiety that's paralyzing you, that's putting your application at risk, all because of something that has not happened yet? Is your application at risk because of your fears that have not happened yet? And I'm talking about this worst case scenario because I am the worst case scenario. For those of you who don't know, I did not get accepted my first time applying to PT school. Your worst fear, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get accepted. Your worst fear, I have lived it. And guess what? I'm still alive. I got into PT school the next time. I passed my board exam. I'm a physical therapist practicing now. I'm making money. I'm not homeless. I'm not dead. Your biggest fear, I have lived it. I have gone through it. So nothing is as paralyzing as a fear that has not happened yet. So I want you guys to realize that if you can manage that, if you can understand that all of your fears that you have, I don't care if you're reapplying or not, have not happened yet, your application will be in far better condition of if you let your fears that have not happened yet paralyze you and put your application at risk of not being as great as it could be. So what's the worst that can happen? Even if your fears that have not happened yet come true, what's the worst that can happen? I'm the worst that can happen, really, because I've lived it. And the worst that can happen is you become a physical therapist anyway, because I am. Your worst fear of not getting accepted, even if it comes true, your worst case scenario is me. It's really true. Your biggest fear of not getting accepted, if it comes true, is me. And I am a physical therapist now. I've gotten into PT school, even when I did not that first time. So understand that. The worst that can happen is success, because I did it. I made it happen. Fear of not getting into your dream school. True. Is it real? Absolutely. But did you not get into your dream school yet, Dom? Or is that a fear that did not happen yet? You don't know what I'm talking about? Just rewatch the video when it's posted, when the replay is posted. Did that fear of not getting into your dream school happen yet? Or is it paralyzing you of having the best application out there? And even if it does come true, what's the worst case scenario? Because a lot of you are paralyzed by the worst case scenario. But you don't have to be, because the worst case scenario is me. And I've gotten back up, reapplied, and got in. Judy, not getting accepted and not being able to catch up with your friends. That one. Judy. I don't know if you know my story, Judy. But if you need to go back and rewatch, that's me. Joseph's got in before me. A lot of my friends got into PT school before me. The worst case scenario happened to me. And I'm still here. I still got into PT school. I'm still a physical therapist. And Judy, did that happen yet? Your worst case scenario, your biggest fear, this cycle, I'm talking about this cycle. Did that happen yet? Dom, it didn't happen yet. You're right. You're right. So don't let it paralyze you. Do not let it paralyze you. So that was my rant for this pre-PT chat. And I felt like I needed to go into it because that post, go back to our Instagram if you need to watch it, got a lot of engagement and a lot of people in their feelings. So I need you to understand that you cannot put your application at risk because you will be doing a disservice to yourself. And if you put your application at risk, hey, those fears could become true because you fed into them. So if you're watching on replay, if this is a podcast, if this is a YouTube video, comment below what your biggest fears are, and we will send you our accepted system blueprint so you now will have tangible ways to know how to deal with those fears. How do I actually put these steps into action so that my fears can be manageable? So I know what to do next. So I know the steps of how to get into PT school so all my fears will not happen. So comment those below. And I hope from all these comments, you guys will see that you're not alone, which was one of my biggest fears. You'll see that you're not alone. And you'll see that community is probably a huge part of putting those fears to rest. And if you need a great community around you, I'm talking about a more concentrated community of pre-PTs on fire, then message us. Comment below. We'll send you our accepted system blueprint. We'll message you. We'll talk about getting you into a community of pre-PTs on fire to get into PT school. And you'll realize you are not alone. So I hope this helped somebody. Hope this helped a few people out there because this was huge for me. This was almost paralyzing for me, especially when I didn't get in the first time. So understand that your fears are not real yet. They're not real yet. And even if they come true, what's the worst that can happen? Because you need to think about the worst that can happen because that is the biggest part paralyzing you. And if you face those, if you get over those, like, okay, when you're little or even in those movies, you think a ghost is in the closet, then you turn on the light and it's a towel. That's what you need to do to your biggest fears. You need to turn on that light and see that the worst case scenario isn't that bad. If Casey lived through it, Judy can live through it. If Casey lived through it, Debbie can live through it. If Casey lived through it, Dom can. So what's the worst that can happen? Your fears haven't happened yet. So I hope you enjoyed it. Tell your friends about Pre-PT Grind, everything at preptgrind.com. Listen to the podcast, follow us everywhere, and I hope this helped. Tell all your friends that Pre-PT Grind is here to get you into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. See you guys on the next one. Take care.